Moon Club podcast number 198, YouTube version starting now. The podcast will go live in about 5 minutes.
I'm gonna roll with it. Fuck it, because you guys aren't giving me any opinion on it. You don't think
I
Doug and Bob?
listened to it. I didn't know.
I don't know where the funny part comes in.
Well, how about we just do like our Canadian accent, and it's like we just like we're out in outer space and we're like having fun.
You know how like when on South Park when they were talking about like step 1 is collect the underwear and then step 3 is make a profit off of it, but they couldn't figure out what step 2 was. Like you got that. And it's supposed to be funny, but I think we're missing a step. I don't know where the funny part comes in.
No, we got to make the underwear dirty to sell them.
How do we make that funny? I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm sure there's something funny in there. I'm just not getting it yet.
There's maybe we should just hey, it's Doug and Bob, and like we can have them doing like an interview. And dude, we can just
beauty, eh?
We can ad-lib what they're saying.
Okay. Do you want to lead with this?
I think it's beautiful. I think it'll fucking go great.
Okay.
I actually
I'll let you do it.
Do you want to do it with me?
I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Let's
Dude,
start clarifying stuff.
It's not that important.
Let's start clarifying stuff.
MJ, okay, you just get an interview with Doug and Bob, the astronauts on the space station, and then then we just ad lib what they're saying.
Did he leave?
What
I think
happened?
you pissed him off. I'm out too, Austin.
I want to smoke some more pot. Dude, let's go get higher and just fucking do it. We're gonna do this on the cup, eh? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at me, I'm in outer space, eh? Like, this is easy, right? Dude, isn't that easy? Look at me, I'm on the space station. Elon Musk just walked in here, eh? You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Zavitz. I'm good. What's going on? Yes. MJAY@bamjack.net. Yeah, I mean you could use MJ@gmax.net, or it's actually MJAllen@gmax.net. Either one will come to the same address.
We released ourselves on our own
Okay,
recording.
I'm getting ready to go live on a podcast at 6 to 7, so I won't be able to look at it till 7, but I'll call him up right after. I'll let him know right now we got an offer, and I'll call him up after the podcast.
I also started a newer one called Great Teachers of Book Normal.
All right, we're good. Yeah, let's do it. All right, now.
Also got an album called Under the Cover of Darkness. I post to
Got an offer? That sounds like good. I'm doing a little fact checking facts,
you know what my favorite
knowing
one is
how
those
to react,
I
relax,
gotta-
and sit back.
Dude, I got a Facebook page called Blips, and it's Bloomington, Illinois Paranormal Society, and it says Blips, and it's got like are you a member of Blips?
Actually, I'm not. No.
Do you like paranormal
You
shit?
thought I was one of the 3 people?
No, that's actually got I think 100 members.
100 members? What do you guys do?
Well, we've never went on an assignment yet.
Do you have an EMF meter?
Not yet. We're saving up for one.
You're saving up for one?
Yeah,
They're like $50.
I know.
How long are you saving?
Blips. Oh, here we go. Check this look. Dude, you know what? I just want a hoodie that's black and it has this on the
Why do you keep using?
What time we got?
Let me check the
how many
time.
members?
It is
Dude, 100
8:59 or 5:59. 8:59. That's
Dude.
what happens when you're blind, people.
Dude, is that a cool fucking logo though?
No, it sucks.
Dude, come on, Steve.
I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna start being real with you and take these damn fucking kid gloves off. We got 30 seconds.
Kid gloves.
Yeah, I've been treating you with kid gloves like you would,
Bloomington, Illinois
Like a
Paranormal
child.
Society.
a special
What's a
person.
badass logo? 113
God,
members.
that is- They're all named Austin. How is that fucking possible?
Well, it's Austin.
There's not 113 Austins, is there?
That's exactly how many there are in Bloomington Normal.
In Bloomington, normal? And not the surrounding areas? Damn. Wait till you get the ones from the surrounding areas. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's that time.
Son of a bitch.
Old mother sucker.
Mother Tucker. Remember that movie?
I don't.
Mother
Mother
Tucker.
Trucker? I remember
Mother Tucker.
Mother Trucker.
It's like, why do you call him Mother Tucker? It's like, because he takes care of his friends.
I don't remember that.
They were in Florida on like spring break or something. Mother Tucker. What movie was that? Was that Hot Dog?
No, Hot Dog, they weren't in Florida.
You got J Mecca ready?
Dude, I don't play J-Mac anymore. You do, right?
I think you took it away from me.
Yeah. Remember that one thing that I did?
We're live.
Hit me with that J Mecca, MJ. There we go.
Should be a good podcast, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
A lot of shit's been happening. It's been a crazy world. out
Crazy
there.
week.
You can run on for a
Yeah,
long
wish something
time.
exciting
Run
would've
on
happened.
for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta put you down. Sooner or later, gotta put you down. Sooner or later, gotta put you down. Sooner or later, gotta put you down.
These kids
Don't
don't have
tell
no
that
graduation.
tongue liar. Don't
have no
tell
real
that
parents.
midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended
Daniel
knee,
Hall is watching.
talking
What's up,
to the
Daniel?
man from Galilee.
What's up,
He spoke
Daniel?
to me in a voice so sweet. I thought I heard the shuffle of angels' feet. He called my name
Yes,
and
sir,
the heart stood
Daniel.
still when he said,
What's up,
Jay,
Daniel?
go do my will. Go and tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna put him down. You can run on for a long time. Run
sharing with
on
my
for
friends.
a long time.
I encourage you to
Run
do
on
the
for a
same.
long time. Sooner or later, gotta put you down. You may throw your rock and hide your hand, working in the dark against your fellow man. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Don't tell that long-tongued liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell them that God's gonna cut you down. Tell them that God's gonna cut you down. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down.
Guess what, Steve?
Yeah, you can never touch this, it's just too much substance. I broke through the chains that away with the cuffs. You can make a scene, but to me, it's nothing. You never match what I bring through in fashion. I'll resist the fabric and bring it back surely. Seen you on the shore, you repping the wrong jersey. Nah, I mean, we're on the wrong team. Paper chasers screaming out cream. Lord deliver us, you know I ain't giving up. They just wanna live it up on stretch ups and $50. Praise to the silly luck, I gotta keep it 100. Run it, clean how I done it. Get it, like City Hall, gotta put my city on. Didn't for the first time, but I've been growing into it. They all getting giddy on, it's going to say I'm pretty young. I'm too busy
Yeah,
now to
this is
rather
like
not
being on
respond to
Saturday
killing
Night
calls.
Live.
Get your pussy on, watch what you slipping on. Girl, what you sipping on, dog, what you barking about. I'd rather be penniless, making plenty sense. You living in a glass house, high rent. Solo, I do it on my own, no YOLO. I never get cut, Kodo, for Shoto. Pardon me, my God, I'm calling on them all. Can't stall, I gotta tell them all. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. 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 Don't tell that long-tongued liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the gambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down.
Peace.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from MJ's Lodge, James Apartment, this is the Moon Club Podcast with AJ and MJ. The Moon Club will talk about anything under the moon. No subject will ever be taboo. This episode of the Moon Club Podcast is brought to you by Realtor MJ Allen, Bloomington Normal's premier realtor for the Jewel Home Selling Team at RE/MAX Rising. And I want to be your realtor, and I will out-hustle everybody all day, every day, and then double up on Sunday to prove it.
True that?
What? I feel like I'm supposed to say something right now. Oh yeah, this is where I say, we're currently in the loft of dreams until the studio gets fixed. Good evening, you lovely lunatics. I'm a little bit of trouble, I think, on Facebook, but we're still live on YouTube. It is currently at 6:05 p.m. It is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. The moon came up at 4:49 p.m. It will go down at 4:03 a.m. It is 88% illuminated. It's beautiful. Get out there and see it for sure. It is 204,000 kilometers away from us. It is 11 days old, and it's going into Libra, into Scorpio tonight. So get out there and fuck, because that's what Scorpios do. They fuck.
Ow.
Are you Scorpio?
No.
No?
Leo. Steve in the house. What up, y'all?
Leo, you're not lying with your big mane and your long hair.
Holla.
I'm a Pisces.
Pisces. Fish.
Yeah.
Twin.
Yeah.
Judith. Twin.
Me and MJ were born exactly a year apart. I don't know if I've ever told you that before. But
Well, you were in the womb way too long.
right. Well, the joke is my mom got it once a year. Well, my mom never laughed at that joke for some reason.
Yeah.
But,
I can see why. I can see why.
You know.
Love Maryland. Much love.
Marilyn. How's your mom doing, by the way?
She's doing a lot better. Thank you for asking. She's
Good.
ready to come home. Get the hell out.
Right.
I told her there's not a whole lot to come home to. I said it's a crazy world out there right now.
Right, but you know what? If she can just be around you and Jordan, I think that would be enough to make her a happy woman, because that's all she really cares about, right?
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with nicotine.
Nicotine.
Her buddy Nick, yeah. I think a lot has to
Does
do
she
with
smoke
it.
cigs?
Unfortunately, yeah. You know, they grab a hold, they won't let you go. You know how that goes, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
MJ.
Yep.
He
What's going
is
on?
fixing the technical difficulties so we can get back on the book of face.
Yeah.
All right, we should be live again. We'll see how long that lasts, but
Back.
we'll just skip the whole intro. We'll get right into it. Joined today by Steve Trainer.
What up,
Again,
yo?
MJ,
Instead of
AJ, and
Facebook-
S. Dre.
We should start the exact same thing, but it's called finger butt instead of Facebook, because I'd rather have a finger in the butt than my butt in a face, because one feels good and one's just kind of annoying.
Hey, Dick Army, who's your friend? Vagina Coast Guard?
Hello.
Dude, so you think finger butt would be a good good social platform, like a good social media?
I think you might want to start it in the Philippines.
No,
Not
no.
that there's anything
Don't go
wrong
there.
with that.
That'd be a good place to start.
Right.
I mean, it's a good place to start anything. You know, they play a lot of pool in the Philippines.
A lot
Right.
of pool. A lot of
And
pool.
I know that-
and you play a lot of pocket pool as well, right?
Well, a lot of fingers in the butt for sure.
Well, you know, I'm glad we got hand sanitizer.
Right.
All right, so we are live, and it looks pretty good. We'll see how long that lasts.
Well, you know, we'll do what we do.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just dance.
Let's go
Dance.
Let's
you know,
go
we
ahead.
could dance. I mean, I could challenge you, you know, back like in the day, but
A
then you
duel?
probably cry.
You know,
Like when you
know,
slap somebody in the face with your glove, it's like
somebody
you
had
know
to die.
something.
Somebody had to go after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Even back in France when it was fast for you.
Right.
You get
Yeah.
smacked in the
Somebody
face.
gotta
Slap
go.
somebody in the face.
R.I.P. Charlie Murphy.
Yeah. I
Right.
got to see him live do stand up at
Dude,
the
what a
Kansas City
gift,
Improv.
huh?
Way too soon.
I'm way jelly on that.
Yeah. It wasn't that good.
But
And,
man,
you know,
Rick needs help. Rick needs help.
Austin was talking about the moon. And,
We just gave him some.
I think we should start on a good point. You know, we finally launched a rocket this week.
After 9 years, we did launch 2 human beings into space on the Dragon capsule, on the tip of a Falcon 9, which is
Falcon 9.
yeah,
So this is the first manned space mission in how long?
9 years.
And the first ever.
On our soil, though. I mean, we've been
No.
paying the Russians.
It's actually launched from the same space pad that all the Apollo missions were launched from.
Okay,
So
the
it
first
was in
ever
Florida.
private company that launched men into space, because
Right.
it was not NASA, it was
SpaceX.
So,
it was Elon
SpaceX.
Musk fucking with his balls that clank.
So here is the International Space Station, and the Dragon capsule is approaching it. We get to see some really cool angles because we've got a camera on the Dragon capsule and we have a camera on the International Space Station. So you see,
Hold on 1 second,
see-
MJ. I've actually got some special audio. So if you can just mute that, I'm gonna play the audio that I've got about the mission, and I just want you to hear it.
Can you use it to open
If
a
you
beer?
look at this,
Can you use
That
it
looks
to
like
hold the beer and then like bring it up to your mouth? I think if it was
The new
designed in
droid.
Canada, it's
Oh, yeah.
gotta be.
And this is
able to
Doug
open
and
a
Bob,
beer,
BB-8,
which
the
means
space station.
those guys that go up there, the astronauts, are like having a beauty time up there with that arm. Okay, now you tell me. Okay, there's no gravity.
Can they hear us?
It goes flying up, so that you just
They
hold
can
your
hear
head
us?
over it. Eh?
They're listening to
Yeah,
Doug
but
and
you
Bob.
gotta
This is Doug and
help
Bob, the
them.
astronauts.
well, that's what I was talking about. If the astronauts could hear us, I thought that was live. That's not live.
All right, fuck it. That didn't go over.
all right,
too
so there it
well.
is. There it is, docking with the International Space Station. And of course, you know what never gets old?
What's that?
Is when you see those two solid rocket boosters come and just like
Oh,
land
it's
back
beautiful,
down
isn't
on
it?
Earth and just like
Yeah, but look at this, eh? This is the first time astronauts have ever been from like like
Did you plan this?
no, but this is the first time that a special yeah. No, this is the first time that
I know I shouldn't laugh at special people,
It's
and I
the first time
apologize.
something-
It is totally
well,
wrong.
this is the first
I
time
feel
that
bad for myself.
this
actually.
has not been a government, but basically Elon Musk bringing people to the space station, and this is actually a very special time, and this is probably the second most important event in space history, besides the moon landing for sure. So this is very special, and I want people. Well, you know what? When you're landing reusable rockets next to each other, that's special too. But
We're
Definite.
we're off of Facebook again, but we'll keep the YouTube version going.
yeah, but definitely launching and having people brought safely to the space station, that's a big deal for a private company to do. Somebody that's not affiliated with a government. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So this is
It is
It is
definitely
good to be a
okay.
billionaire.
it must be.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
He
Damn,
sold,
it feels good to be a billionaire.
He invented PayPal, which is where he got his start. Right?
That's where he got to start. That's where he got his first like 100 million.
I
Yeah.
think he sold it to eBay for $1 billion. I think.
Yeah, you know what? They call it the PayPal Mafia. There's like 4 or 5 of them now that are like changing the world. If you just go to YouTube and look up PayPal
Look at this-
Mafia.
look at this motherfucker.
Into flight. Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event coming up.
That's
is
got
gonna be the
that's got humans on the tip of it.
engine cutoff,
First
Hey!
first time in about a decade. Yeah.
But just the tip.
and then ignition
just the
of
tip.
second stage
Just the
engine.
tip.
First stage beginning its flight back. The second stage
Oh,
being
that's
powered
fucking
by that
awesome.
single Merlin 1D vacuum engine has
Dude, we should have
ignited
fucking called this
its propulsion
podcast
to
just the
Harry,
tip.
Bob, and Doug
It's
into
fucking awesome.
orbit.
I'm so glad they can't hear us right now, though, right? You gotta mute it.
No, they can hear everything you're saying.
YouTube version's going.
We're on.
I was hoping to find those two rockets coming back to Earth. That's the coolest. That's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my whole
Okay.
life.
Side by side.
It was a Falcon 9.
Will be the landing
Hmm?
room.
It was a Falcon 9. It's got one booster.
I would have to say one of the coolest things
Oh, yeah,
I've
yeah.
ever seen in my whole life was the Barbie
you
twins
heard-
back in the 90s.
Yeah,
Starting
that's
to
cool.
Right.
But you're right. It was just one rocket, and it did. But it landed on the.
the barge?
Of course, I still love you.
Okay.
But you're right, it was
Safely. Dude, check out the Hilton twins
Well, that entry burn continues. We're just about a minute away from
Here it is.
on Pornhub.
search.
Here it is.
The
Live video
This is always my favorite part.
from the. Of course, I still love you.
Dude, look how shitty the weather looks like.
Will be coming down.
Oh, we lost signal.
Dude, they always
Looks like
do
we
that.
lost that live view, but we'll wait for confirmation of that landing shortly here.
It's just hard to have.
Landed.
There it is.
This
yeah.
is the.
You know what? We never get to see it, and it would be too expensive to have another barge next to it to broadcast
Where our
live
first
video
stage
because
will be coming
when
down.
when that thing's coming down, it has
like
so
we
much
lost that
pressure
live
that it
view,
just
but
fucking kills the Wi-Fi
Wait
feed
for confirmation
because
of
of
that
so much.
landing shortly here.
Falcon 9
There it is.
footage.
So yeah, the video cut out, and the next thing you know, it's
It always
there.
cuts out. It always cuts out. And you know what? It's just not worth enough money to.
And there is a moon landing conspiracy. I'm gonna say, boom, conspiracy.
Well, you know what? They actually have a live camera running constantly, so within an hour or two, they won't do the live video feed. But there's no way to get a live stream of it just because of the pressure coming down. But they do publish a live feed of the rocket landing or
Right.
of that.
I mean, it's not a live feed.
Yeah.
It's after the fact.
Right.
Would it be a dead feed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the finger in the butthole thing again.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, right?
I think we should do a PSA about that right now. I mean, there's plenty of hand sanitizers out there. Keep your hands washed.
Wear
We're
gloves if you
still
got 'em.
social distancing. And on that, I mean, this world's even getting crazier than we thought it could possibly get. I mean, Corona, boom, is a crazy world. And now with everything that's going on, you know, not just in our town, but around the nation, even around the world, because there's protesters in England, protesters in Europe, and it's just not a good sight. And let's just be honest that I don't feel that police officer and or any police officer that crosses the line represents law enforcement.
Well, it definitely makes law enforcement look bad, and I think to your point, not all cops are like that. There's a lot of cops
Right.
that denounce this, and for good reason. I think cops should be required to get a blue belt. Andrew Yang talked about this, a blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
There's a reason that the triangle choke is so effective. Is because it cuts off both arteries to your brain, and you can't just put your
It's
knee
safe.
on somebody's neck. If you knew anything about jiu-jitsu, you would know that you were killing that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I think that guy did. I mean, honestly, he was a killer. You look at his face. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what his mindset was.
You know,
but
if you
from
look
the
at-
outside looking in, he definitely looked like
You know,
he was enjoying it. What do
if you
think,
look at the pressure on his knee and you look at how light his foot is on the ground, you can tell that he's putting full weight on on this guy's throat. And dude, that's not even the right technique. You're supposed to put it on their back, and occasionally it might slip to their throat, but you're supposed to pull it back. But this guy kept his fucking knee on this man's throat for fucking he killed him. He
Close
killed
to
him.
9 minutes, yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
he was-
breathe.
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, a lot of people,
And then-
you know, say, well, why didn't they
Silence.
administer, you know, CPR right when the paramedics got
One of the
there?
people-
And
one
I
of the-
think it was obvious to me that it was already too late.
One of the
Well,
witnesses
if
there
you
was a
look at the-
firefighter,
if you
and
look-
she said, check his pulse.
If you look at the video when they flip him over, he was lifeless. He was
Yeah.
already gone. There was no life left in that body.
Well, you know what? They could have, if they would start doing chest compressions on him to the staying alive. But it's like, you know what? That cop didn't do that. The other cops didn't do that. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. That's why people are so fucking angry. And you know what? I'm angry about it. You murdered a black man. Lynching is more.
Murdered a man.
Dude, you know what? To lynch
Period.
a man is like to hang him and they get killed instantly. This guy was fucking killed slow in front of the world.
You want to know
And we
what?
had to watch it. I could only watch the first 3 minutes the first time that I watched that. And I made myself go back and I watched the whole thing. And I realized that they had killed that man slowly.
You did the same thing with Two Girls, One Cup, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually I watched that thing the first time all the way through. Well, first,
Then he watched it
Dozen
while
times.
it was being rewound, and then
Maybe.
he watched it fast forward, then at normal speed, then back rewound.
right.
I had the worst experience with the Two Girls, One Cup, in that the people that I work with, I think we talked about this. They told me, whatever you do, don't watch Two Girls, One Cup.
Right.
That's the worst thing that they could do to you.
Right.
Well, it's baiting you. And I'm going to tell you what, one of the worst things, and hopefully there will be some laws definitely reformed, and hopefully it won't be a stain on an officer to stand up and say, hey, you know, relax to their partner, even if it's a superior officer. I know
Right.
that
Right.
it just doesn't make sense that there was 3 other people there, knowing, you know, and I've watched tons
Can
of
you see the
videos, like we've
discomfort?
all watched tons of videos.
Can
and
you
I-
see the discomfort in the
I've
young
seen
Korean's
officers-
eyes? He does not seem comfortable with what's going on. But the fact that he was
He was obviously comfortable
Complacent.
because he was telling them this is what happens when you do drugs. I mean, he's
You know what?
just
Apparently,
as,
he's had 6 complaints filed against him.
He's just as bad as the other guy.
Yeah.
Wait, who are we talking about?
The young Korean officer that's to his right in the video. He seems uncomfortable by what's going on, but at the same time, he's complacent because he's not following his oath to protect and serve and save this man from killing
Well,
this
none
man.
of them were, and that's just it. I've watched a lot of videos from a lot of different officers, and that's what they said. They said, you know, that in no way is procedure, and the officers that obviously made the videos were, you know, had enough balls to stand up, and hopefully if they were in that situation in real life that they would stand up, because I mean the way I feel too, I could sit here and say one thing.
Right,
I would
right.
like to think that I wouldn't let somebody
If I was
kill
there-
a man right in front of me.
Right.
I think both
If
of
I
us
was
would
there,
be going
I
to
would have
jail.
heroically sucker kicked that cop in the face and fucking went down and fucking started compressing the guy's chest and saved his life. But that's just how I wish it would have happened. Like that somebody would have saved that man, but it didn't happen.
But these police officers were talking about, you know, procedure is, you know, put him in cuffs and detain him. Hey, they did that. You know, they had him detained. Now, if something goes further and his life's in jeopardy, now your next step is to be a first responder to save a man's life. And he's obviously on the ground saying that he can't breathe. He obviously was losing fluids, whether it be blood or possibly urine that looked like a trail of urine. He was calling for his
It
mother.
did look like a trail of urine there. So that would wouldn't that mean that doesn't your bladder release when you die? So it's like they saw that.
It could
it looked
be
like
a
a
lot
trail
of
of
things.
urine.
It could just, I mean, it was just horrific, like I said. I mean, and so hopefully now the laws will be reformed to where cops will stand up and they'll be looked at and celebrated as heroes, not only by the person that they're saving and by the community, but by their peers as well, instead of, like I said,
Dude, check this
blackball
out.
and looking
This
at-
is something crazy that I just thought of. First black man on a United States dollar bill. Why not let it be George Floyd? Abraham Lincoln's already got the penny. Let's give George Floyd the fucking $1 bill. I mean, it would be beautiful, right? Or no, is it the 5 that's got Abraham Lincoln on it too? I know Abraham Lincoln's got 2. But George Floyd, I think he's going to become the icon of this new era that we're coming upon. I think he's going to be bigger than Rodney King. Remember Reginald Denny that was killed out of hate? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name? George Football Williams?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, well, he's the guy that smashed him in the head with the brick.
Okay, yeah. Reginald Denny, right?
So, and I probably don't have the name wrong. I know the nickname was Football. It was like George Football
Right.
Williams or something like that.
But do you think that George Floyd is going to become? I mean, what a great name, right? I mean,
Well,
I think he's
Well,
going to become an
unfortunately,
icon.
I don't think he's going
of
to be
this
put on any money,
movement.
but you know,
Well,
maybe, who knows?
You never know, right?
Unfortunately, I mean, he's a face to injustice, or one of the faces to injustice and inequality in society today. But it's really being silenced, and his message is being silenced by all the looting and all the
I wonder-
wrongdoing.
So what's going on right now, and I will say there are 3 different groups of people, and they shouldn't be confused, right? There
There's
are
the good,
3
the bad, and the ugly, right?
extremely different groups. There are your peaceful protesters, and good for them because we have a lot to protest against right now. There are also people that are just out there race baiting right now. So just trying to make this all about race. It's an opportunist thing. And then there's people that are even bigger opportunists. They're out there smashing and grabbing and looting. What
The good, the
I'm
bad, the ugly,
What
right?
I'm so glad that happened in Bloomington last night is over at Kohl's, there was a bunch of peaceful protesters at somewhere in the parking lot. I don't know exactly where they were. And then later on, some people showed up and started doing smash and grabs in Kohl's, breaking the windows, and the police rolled up. And the peaceful protesters said, "That's not us over there doing that smash and grab." And police are like, "Cool, continue. We're gonna go arrest these motherfuckers here."
Right, but
and that's exactly what they did.
Dude, you didn't know about the special that night where they were giving away 65-inch smart TVs for free.
You know,
Anybody that's willing to smash a window and grab one.
now
Dude,
I-
you know what? You don't know how seriously I take my visual media.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have me a fucking 65-inch fucking smart TV. That'd be so awesome.
You know, one thing is
I didn't go grab
a lot
one.
of people, you know, were looting like Apple stores and stuff, and a lot of those are, I mean, unless you get rid of them overseas, those can be easily tracked by the company.
Right.
Right.
And
That's
so
like-
those
yeah.
are pretty useless. So I mean,
Yeah.
I get this symbolism in a extent, but
Symbology.
this is my thing. Like this is why, and I can't tell you where to protest or how to protest or when to protest. I get that, but why is protesting at Kohl's necessary? You need to protest the government. I mean, stay on the courthouse. And this is one thing that everybody
government should
wants
fear
to
the
talk
people.
about is like change, okay? And when something bad happens, then we get to protesting. Why does the fucking protesting stop? The one way that you have a voice and the one way that you get heard is to make sure every day you're right there. And if you're in a large enough group, you don't have to be there every day. One of you can be there every other day.
I told you 2 fingers in the butt,
I
and
mean,
you went with 3.
but I
You've
mean,
got
it
to draw a
just-
line somewhere.
It don't make sense to me. And when you talk about a movement, and when you talk about not being heard, make yourself heard. And the only way you do that is with consistency.
Yeah, you know what? You guys hear the Martin Luther King quote that's been thrown around a lot lately is that rioting is the act of the unheard. No, rioting is the language of the unheard. That's when people go crazy.
Is that a verbatim quote?
Yes, that is a verbatim quote. Martin Luther King definitely said rioting is the act of the unheard.
Did you say rioting or
Rioting.
riding?
Right.
I think you have to do
On and on and on and on and on and
But
on.
yeah,
how
I
will
mean-
I make it down? I won't. That's how. That's how.
It's unfortunate, and when you see George Floyd's mother, imploring people and telling them,
Or his
this
brother,
isn't
yeah.
what he would want,
Right.
smashing 5 TVs. And let's be honest, that has nothing to do with George Floyd. When you're
Right.
going and grabbing 5 TVs, a stack of Nikes this tall, that has nothing to do. I mean, you cross the
It
line
kinda
to
does,
being
though.
a
It's
criminal.
Like Rodney King
It
said,
kinda
does.
can't
Why
we
can't
all
we all
just
just
get
get
along?
along?
Yeah.
Like, he
Yeah.
didn't want all that.
No,
riot
he didn't want all
shit.
that
He
in
was
his
just-
name.
He was just kind of a mess, right?
Yeah.
He was
Dude,
a guy
you
that
know
fucked
what?
up
I
and did some
wonder-
things that he shouldn't have, but
Got paid and
I wonder
yeah,
when
made,
George Floyd,
life hell.
when he felt his life escaping from him, that he would know he would be as impactful as Jesus Christ on our society. No, I'm serious. He almost single-handedly setting the world on fire.
okay.
What do you guys think about that?
Again, I don't think it's him. I think it's the act
He's
of
the
a
martyr.
murderer.
He's the martyr.
He's the tip of the spear, right?
He's the tip of the spear.
Unfortunately, he
Punctures
is the
Pilate.
victim of a murderer.
But do you think that
But
when he
all
was
these
fading
people-
out, that he knew that he would be as impactful as John Lennon or fucking Ice Cube or Ice-T or Dr. Dre? It's like, dude, he becomes a martyr at that exact moment when that guy's like fucking got his knee on his neck for like 8 minutes. It's like we all watched him die together. I can only watch the first 3 minutes.
I
the first
believe
time
he
watched it.
became a face of many faces to a cause that underlines police brutality, and I think that, and this is where I think some people get lost, is sometimes that face is transcendent in different color and different race, and police brutality is the overlying injustice, but I do believe in equality for rights, and I have seen the division in society, and I do know the statistics. I mean, I can read the writing on the wall. I know that more blacks are in jail, more blacks get
You know what?
arrested. I should say African American.
Before you
people.
came here, me and Andrew were
I
talking
don't
about
know,
the Stanford prison experiments, where they separated people and they put them in 2 different categories, and dude, people just become mean to people just because they're put in a power, a position of power. and it's really not right. But if you just look up the Stanford prison experiments, you'll see how people's minds work and how it's like, okay, you're going to be a prison guard, you're going to be a prisoner, and you guys are going to have to work with one another. And you know, the prison guards became fucking assholes, and that's just it's just part of the human nature. How
I think prison guards being assholes is a real unique concept. I don't think that's, you know, something that's really heard of a lot.
You know what? I bet there's some really cool prison guards that have.
That bring smokes in their bunghole?
Well, I don't know. It's like just maybe ones that carry themselves more dignified and have the respect of the prisoners. I'm sure there's got to be them. That's the dude. That would be me as a prison guard. I would be one of the motherfuckers that would be protected. Because I wouldn't be a fucking dick, and I wouldn't fucking ever use my position as power. You know what I'm saying? I'd be a fucking great prison guard.
I'd probably get shanked.
Yeah. A huge wallet.
Giggity. Giggity, giggity.
You know what they make you do in prison?
I would not know, and I actually really don't want to know. I mean, I've heard that you could even do that in which bedroom's yours? Again, back
The
to
salad
the
tossing room's
you know,
back over here.
what's going on with the world today, and all the injustice and inequality, and there's another side of all this rioting and looting, and that's the poor people that own the businesses.
Right.
Now, where is their line drawn? I mean, they have a right to protect their businesses. They have a right to protect their family, their lives.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
People are getting shot. People are getting killed.
We were talking about this
and then
earlier,
these people are looking as the criminal, you know, and it's like, hold on, these people
Dude,
broke
so,
into my house.
I heard
A
you
group
say
of
the
people.
Latin Kings are stepping up in their communities and protecting
Chicago?
businesses
Yeah.
and protecting homes of their.
Citizens and all their.
So it's the
members.
Latin Kings that are actually,
Their area.
and the cops, they're actually working with the cops, right? Is that what you said?
Let's flash back to 1992 when everything went off the hook in LA, starting in LA. But remember, LA had a bunch of Korean shop owners, right?
Right.
And they were like just posting up on the roof with
yeah.
a shotgun, right? And they're like, "It's my store. Stay away from my
I
store."
forgot about that.
Like, I think it's a good idea, you know, like, why not just have like a stuffed Korean dummy up on the top of your roof with a, I mean, don't keep it up there all year.
Why
but,
does
you
it
know,
have? Why does it have to be Korean? And if you're gonna put that up there, why not put a Japanese sex doll like they did in the audience at the
Does
No
she look,
shit,
does she
right?
look real surprised?
No shit. Dude, how about a sexy fucking sex doll with a fucking AK-47 or a sniper rifle in her
Right.
fucking arms?
Those sex
How about a
dolls-
dozen of them?
those
They,
sex
dude, they
dolls-
work for free,
Those sex dolls that they used in that soccer stadium a couple weeks ago we talked about, right?
right?
Let's put those on the roofs.
Right?
All right, I think we
Don't
should
even clean them first. You know what I mean? It's like, who cares how much cum is
Steve's
stored
got an
inside
idea.
them?
definitely don't post this to YouTube yet because we need to patent this idea because this is $1 billion idea.
Okay.
But
If
kind
you're
of
thinking
like
about the
Ring,
deep throat fucking
but with a gun.
cum doll.
Say that again.
kind of like Ring, but with a gun. You have turrets on both sides of your house. They could be, you know, whatever type of caliber gun that you wish. You have the app. People step up in your property no matter where you are.
It's kind of like a mousetrap.
Fuck to death.
and it's like the guns will be like, and then you can speak, step away from the house.
Before they get fucked to death.
It's kind of like RoboCop.
A lot like that, but Ring, let's be honest, it's a freaking video doorbell. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Well-
$1 billion idea, but the dude didn't put that much fucking thought in it. Was getting high at the table and being like, man, I wish I had a fucking video of who's out there ringing that damn doorbell.
Fuck the doorbell
That
every time you
reminds
come
me
to it.
of Cat Williams when he was talking about who invented the telephone. He's like, this guy was so high. He's like, man, I want to talk to somebody that's not even here.
Right? But you know what I mean? I mean, that is how that idea worked, and
That's
our
beautiful.
idea, that's
Dude,
a
have you heard
$1
that?
billion idea.
Have you
You
heard
gotta
that?
stop talking over everybody, man.
Have you heard that though? That they turned in their patents like within 3 minutes of one another. Both Alexander Graham Bell and the other guy. Yeah.
Who's the other guy?
I don't know who it is, but
Nobody knows. He was
Yeah.
second.
Where's the fact checker?
Maybe.
People do.
Well, we're not live on YouTube, so
People do
we're not
know
live
who
on
it is.
Facebook.
matter anymore.
It does matter, also.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep fucking walking over one another. Is that a Yeti fucking beer holder?
You're like distracted by shiny things.
Yeah, dude, if I was a raccoon, I'd fucking steal that from you right now. I'd be like, fucking, like with my opposable,
almost made me
like
say the
almost
wrong
opposable
thing here.
fingers.
All right, so I think we've beat the George Floyd and the racial injustice and police brutality thing. I mean, obviously we had to talk about it, right?
Yeah,
we had to
yeah.
say something.
Yeah.
And Steve was all over
Can't
it last
avoid it.
week. Steve came with it, and
Yeah.
I kind
And
of.
dude,
I kind of
you know
knew
what?
it was gonna be something. I had no idea it was gonna be what it is.
dude,
like
I
just say.
had just briefly
there,
heard about
there
it.
you go again.
Sorry. I just briefly heard about it. So, yeah, Steve definitely broke that story to me. I'm sorry, brother. I don't mean to be a dick. I should start drinking at noon if we're doing a podcast at 6.
You should write that down for the next Tuesday.
So I don't know.
On the fridge.
If it's not George Floyd, if
Dude,
it's
but
not
Keith
the
Love is
rioting,
calling
if it's
me.
not everything else, what else is there to talk about? And I was gonna do this whole thing about how we're getting race baited by the media, and I think it's
Hey,
just
what's
the
up?
wrong time for that. I don't think that's a good idea at all. I'll leave that for another time. So
What's up?
I really have nothing.
Well, I will say this, and we can briefly touch on the media with this whole thing going on.
Hey, we're still doing the
Depending
podcast.
on what channel that you put it on, you're getting two conflicting
Cool, buddy.
stories.
For sure you are.
And I get it, that everybody's got an opinion and everybody's got a favorite channel. But when the stories are so drastic, and it's what these news places are called breaking news, not only should they have a fact checker, but it should be unbiased and, keep some of the crap out of it.
To your point, like whatever the news story is, I don't even need to turn on Fox. Let's go with the two polar opposites: Fox News and MSNBC.
Right.
I already know what their stance is going to be on whatever issue before I turn it on, because MSNBC is going to be whatever Trump did is bad. It's horrible. It's the worst thing ever. And Fox is going to be like it's the greatest thing ever. Like that's
Yeah.
what it's going to be.
And both of them make
Right?
perfect sense.
So this is the problem with a 24-hour news cycle, when all you have is an agenda,
Right.
and you're playing to your crowd, and you just want to keep eyes on the TV. That's
Right.
what they want. And if you are a person who is just sitting watching Fox News, or if you're a person that's just sitting and watching MSNBC, you're doing yourself a disjustice, because it's an echo chamber. You're hearing what
Yeah.
you think is right.
Well-
You need to watch the other side, and you need to watch the middle. You need to get your news from different sources, not just one
Exactly.
source.
Yeah, it's like this is my prescription. This is what I prefer, so I know where to go to get it. So it just reinforces my thoughts constantly. If I just watch Fox News, then it's like I'm constantly being fed what I want, because that's the way people want it. They want to have their thoughts and beliefs reinforced.
That Rachel Maddow, she's so right on everything.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, and this is going to be like a mic drop. It's going to be a little bit mind-blowing for everybody. Remember when everybody got the reality check that reality TV was fake? News.
This hasn't
Fake
happened yet in
news.
my
I mean,
life.
come on. Bam.
Yeah,
Figure
the
it
funny
out.
thing is reality TV is anything but, right?
Right. You're
Like
right
once you
to.
put a camera on somebody, it's not real anymore.
Dude, remember my theory about fucking Tiger King? All of them actors. Fucking.
It would be better
Nailed
if
it.
they were, right?
Oh,
Thank goodness.
it's like, you
Yeah,
know
it
what?
definitely would be for the Tigers.
I told MJ that. I was like, my theory is all of them professional actors, and they fucking nailed it. Especially when he married that third dude. It's like, there's no way this is real, right? And
I just saw, and I didn't look into this, but I just saw on the Alexa in there, Carol Baskin gets the Tiger King Zoo. And I don't know what that means, but that was the guy that had owned it, Jeff.
I don't know, but apparently Carol Baskin killed her husband.
Well, you know
That's
what?
what
She's still
everybody
free and she's
says.
still walking around.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Also.
Yeah, I don't pretend to know.
Dude, what an interesting story, though. Everybody knows this. Lunatics, if you want to... I've actually been in contact with Carol Baskin, and I can actually... she said she would come on the podcast, but she was wanting money. But I told her, it's like, you know what? It's like my podcast. We don't generate any money. If you want to come
Well,
on.
hold on a second.
So she said she would think about it.
Backtrack. How much we talking? I got 5.
I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. That's 10.
You
What
put
do
up
got?
5, that's $15.
Call her back.
She wanted 20, and dude, I don't have the extra 5 to pitch in. Or
Carol
what.
Baskin Robbins.
Did I bump?
Yeah.
Carol bask in her glory of murdering motherfuckers.
Carol Baskin in the sun.
I wonder if her ass tastes like French vanilla ice cream.
Dude,
She
she's
should write-
disgusting. She's gross.
She
Yeah.
should write a book like OJ on how to
I think
murder
it's a
people.
saga.
Right.
Right.
It's like if I did to it, this is how I would have done.
Yeah, I didn't kill my husband, but if I did, I would feed his ass to the tigers.
I'm not in question per se,
You
y'all.
know how you go in to eat the ass and it looks all like disgusting and you're like, you know what? I forgot I had a thing I gotta do.
And I say at that point, once you commit, you're all in.
You gotta at least put your tongue in it once.
You're all in. Yeah.
I mean, you like get up there.
Try
and
everything once.
Your
Boom.
nose is like going through some dingleberries, and you know that there's stuff there that has been sitting,
That's
like
when you
rotting
fake
for
it.
months.
You go wow, 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 wow. You make it sound like it's your tongue, but it's your two fingers.
What about the natural chicks?
Nobody
that
knows. Nobody
still
knows.
have
Totally
not
fake it.
shaved.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there is a certain level of, aged hair. You know what I mean? So
Do
to speak.
explain what that means.
Well,
Explain, Steven.
well, so if you're not shaving down there,
Yeah.
and you say reach puberty at 15, and now you're 40, 45, and you've never shaven, you got 45-year-old hair down there.
Yeah, it's
You know
all
what I'm
gray
saying?
and fucking like.
It can be gray and it can be whatever, but I mean, if you got a T-shirt that you've had for 40 years, you wash it, a pair of jeans.
I
They,
think so.
they may not be the cleanest.
Doesn't it start to
you
dread
can
out?
wash it every day.
I think hairs grow and fall out. I don't think most of those hairs are more than a couple years old. I don't think any
you
of
know
them
what?
are
I think you're
45
wrong.
years old.
I think you're wrong. I think there's ones that have been there for over a decade.
There's only one way we can find that, and that's like,
We can
rings
ask
of
a
a
doctor.
tree. Like rings of a tree.
Right.
We can ask a doctor.
Growth rings.
Yeah.
I mean, I will gladly
Dude, you ever seen a girl with hair around her titties?
look into it.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't disgust me that much.
That much. I mean,
It's you know what? It wouldn't be a deal breaker if they were like, what I'm saying, like fucking.
the worst part about it, though, and this is the worst part about it,
What's that, brother?
is you're on the nipple, you got the ring of hair, and then you got a few hairs that get caught in your teeth. And so
Never
you
had-
got to
never had
stop
that
the
happen.
action.
Ring of hair
To
or
clean.
ring of terror?
Suck on a girl's tits and you get hair stuck in your teeth. Has that never happened to you? It's never happened to me.
Yeah, it's happened.
Well,
Really?
What about
Wow, you guys are disgusting.
a woman that is tremendously hairy, who does shave, may even wax, but does not do the bum hole? So you got just that boom,
Like, okay,
dirty
for
hairy
me,
ring down there.
for me, if a woman's hairy, it's got to be all hairy. So it's got to be armpits, it's got to be the vajay, and the butthole has
The
to be at
legs.
least a little hairy. Like, if you're gonna do it all the way.
Dude, you're coming off as the crazy Russian guy right now.
Don't
Do it
just have a big
half-assed.
hairy.
Can you fake a
Don't
Russian
just have
accent
a
right
big
now?
hairy bush and shave your armpits. Like you're fucking up the image for me right now.
Like in
I'm
the
sorry.
movie
That blood.
Waiting with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, dude, remember the movie with fucking Robin Williams where he's in the airport? Fucking, he was like a Russian. Dude, do you miss Robin Williams? I really do.
I really don't.
I didn't
No.
know him personally, and to be honest, his
you miss Patrick
latter
Swayze?
movies,
Nope.
I wasn't really a big fan of.
You don't miss Patrick Swayze?
No, not really.
I think after World According to Garp and
Who's your
the one
favorite
in
actor?
Vietnam, he kind of like.
Oh yeah,
We did. I mean, look, Robin Williams did a lot of great stuff,
He did.
and he is
Mork
missed,
and Mindy is
but
best.
yeah, that was at the height of his game.
No, stop.
That was. By the way, have either of you two seen The Wrong Missy, the new Netflix original movie with? I think David Spade produced it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, no.
Oh, because you definitely went. Anyway,
I
very
was
good.
saying, yeah, go ahead.
I can't think of what the girl's name is, but she just like came out of nowhere. But she was like a force of nature in that movie.
Oh, Kenzie Reeves
I don't know.
from Pornhub, yeah. Check her out, for sure.
Check her out.
The Wrong Missy on Netflix. If you have Netflix, it's for free.
For free. I have Netflix, but like I don't have Netflix.
Explain that.
Like I've got
Are you
3 free
stealing it
months,
from a
but I
coworker?
haven't used it yet.
Oh, okay. So you have Netflix. You have access to Netflix.
I have access to Netflix. If
Dude,
something
what's-
intrigues me enough to where I can, figure out what my password is to my
You're making no sense right now.
Wi-Fi.
I,
Dude, what is your
I
best
watched,
Netflix? Ozark.
I started watching.
Stumblemouth over there telling me I'm making no sense.
I started watching Space Force today, which is a Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Steve Carell, and
Are
I
you
only got
serious?
one episode in. But
Is it good?
I did one episode. I thought it was all right.
So you know,
I mean, it's
Steve
Steve Carell.
Carell was sitting on the couch when Trump was like, "We're gonna do a Space Force." Bam! Movie, TV show.
That's pretty much what it is, right?
Oh shit! No shit. So is it good?
Anything Steve Carell.
Right.
Yeah, Steve Carell. He doesn't miss very often, does he?
Did you see him
He's a
in
genius. Dinner with Schmucks, awesome.
Um,
Anybody that poses dead mice.
the Fox Den. What was it?
No, Fox Hunter or Fox.
Fox.
Dude, where he played the wrestling coach.
Yeah, that kind of
Oh,
missed.
dude, you know what? That was really good.
Oh, you think?
I didn't even
He
realize
was
it was
comedy.
him until after the movie. And
Did he
that's how-
play the DuPont guy?
He played DuPont, yeah. And dude, with the nose and I didn't realize he was such a good dramatic character
For
actor.
me, it took me out of it because a lot of the facts were wrong in the movie. But I don't know. That probably kept me from actually evaluating the movie as just being good. Like, oh,
you know,
the
I
facts
watched
are-
it totally ignorant. I had no idea what it was.
Fox
And
something.
so
No, Fox.
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher, yeah. Yeah. Have you seen it?
No, I have
It
not.
was about two
And-
of the greatest American wrestlers
And
in
again,
history.
I'm like, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's a very good comedian.
Oh no.
Oh, he's a good dramatic actor
yeah.
too,
He is. He is.
and comedic actor. Like
Comedic.
you know,
Dude, isn't that great how comedians transfer so well to dramatic actors?
you know who's getting mad props for a movie that's coming out soon?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
I
And,
nailed that, huh?
The King of Staten Island. Apparently he fucking kills it, and I can't wait to see it.
He plays
week from Friday.
the father-in-law. Bill Burr plays the father-in-law to, of course, the
Pete Davidson,
Pete Davidson. Yes, of course. Yeah.
the least funniest member of SNL.
But you know what? I must say his last stand-up was quite impressive.
It
Sketch
was all
comedy
right.
is hard though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sketch comedy is definitely hard.
It
Pete
seems like
Davidson
he's making
can't
all the
do it.
right moves. I mean, everybody. It's like he's become a household name. Let's face it. He's Pete Davidson.
I liked him on Hot Ones. I think
Yeah.
I see him in a little bit
Me
better
too.
light.
Me
but
too. Yeah,
Hot
I liked
Ones,
him on
great.
Hot Ones.
I like
yeah,
Will Ferrell
without
on
a
Hot
doubt,
Ones.
yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin on Hot
DJ
Ones.
Khaled, complete jackass on
Yeah.
Hot Ones.
Dickhead.
Pussy!
Don't eat the pussy. Like fucking, I can't respect.
I
a man
love
that
the way
doesn't-
Sean called him out too. He's like, "Look, hey, just because I ain't finishing the
No.
wings doesn't mean I'm quitting." And Sean's like, "Yeah, I think that's exactly what it means."
Yeah.
Oh,
DJ
I ain't
Khaled.
no quitter. I like
But
to
we
show
the
my,
best music.
I like to show my son, thank God for everything, and then I'm gonna show him that a man doesn't finish hot wings; they just let them sit.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit, dude. Dude, in my country, that's considered terrorism.
I pretty much nailed that DJ Khaled. By the way.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would have had to, go to.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Hit me with it one more time.
I don't think I can even channel it.
Okay.
I mean, I wish I could.
Hey, can I get some of that fucking? I'm gonna get this whole room pregnant.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan, shit. I'm gonna get this whole room pregnant.
Yeah. That's
What's
good,
his
isn't it? It's fucking so smooth.
That's how you get out of paying a check.
OG? Last OG?
The last OG.
Is that his new TV show? With,
Yeah,
yeah, it's very,
Don't you think we should start a fucking
It's
mail
about
service called ogmail.com instead of gmail.com?
You could. I bet it's probably already taken. If
Yeah, I
not,
mean,
you
if
should
you might
just
have
buy
stole
it
that
because you
shit.
probably sell it. Yeah. But yeah,
ogmail.com.
I
Can
think
you
it's
look
on
for
the
it?
second or third season on TBS or something. But he plays a gentleman that grew up in Brooklyn that just got out of prison for 15 years and I can't keep a job and so on. And then he has a lot of famous people, and of course, because Tracy Morgan knows everybody from New York.
He's got the Rolodex, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
mean, Alec Baldwin's
Mike
gonna show
Tyson's
up.
in it, Chris Rock,
He's got connections.
Yeah.
Here's what.
And people will show
Who-
up.
who
If I
would
call
work-
one, is showing up.
Dude, who wouldn't work with Tracy Morgan?
I would work with him.
Or even, what's his name from SNL, the least funny guy, who's not going to work with him? I think Bill Burr, like when he opted for the King of Staten Island, it's like, that movie looks really good. I really like the way I really like the trailer and how it's about his real life.
Judd Apatow directed King of Staten
Yeah.
Island. He was on the Adam Carolla podcast
Adam
last week
Carolla.
sometime. He said he was blown away by Bill Burr's comedic timing, like his acting, like everything.
Dude, you put him at
He's
your
like-
number one, right?
Huh?
You put him at your number one, right?
For stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well,
Or Men
I mean,
Fuck.
there's a few people I could make arguments for number one. He's definitely one of them. Yeah. The thing
Fries
about
up.
stand-up comedy is that it's so
Sell it?
subjective, right?
Well, you know what? I think it's like an art. It's almost like I would compare it to what is that grappling?
Stripping?
That the guys from Brazil do. It's like I would compare it to an art like
Jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu. It's like speaking words and making it funny, and the way you grapple with somebody. I think they're both an art to where you have to be very invested deeply into the art of what is going on. You know what I'm saying? So MJ, would you compare jiu-jitsu and fucking stand-up comedy like to one another as far as their complexity of how far you dive into them?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, go a little further.
I'm saying jiu-jitsu and stand-up comedy are both arts that you must explore on like a very diverse, like you must get very deep into their philosophy and the way you move among them. So it's movements, and sometimes you know what? Sometimes you got to do like 7,000 movements before it becomes muscle memory, and it's like.
And is that for the comedy or the jiu-jitsu that you have to?
I think it could probably be both. Both.
Very good analogy. I was
Yeah, it was a long
enthralled.
ride.
I was enthralled, and I think you pulled it out. Again, what were you thinking about that?
I was just talking about
All right, so we've got like
the
10 minutes to
mastery,
fill.
the mastery of movements.
I think it's been kind of a roller coaster ride of a podcast. We should just go out on something really light. Like, let's talk about who are the top 5 best stand-up comedians right now.
Oh, right now.
Or we could do it of all time.
I was gonna say I'm not really familiar. Well, it wouldn't be fair for me to do of all time because I'm not as up on the current
Okay.
comedians. You know what I mean? So I might be missing.
So you don't
some-
know about your Burt Kreischers, your Tom Segura's, your Ari
vaguely,
Shaffir's.
a little
Yeah.
bit, a little bit. Not as well to you
Well, let's
know,
do all
even
time.
classify.
All time.
all time.
I've got to throw Mitch Hedberg out as being in the top 5.
Yeah.
Because he's just so different.
Are we doing top 5 of all time?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Are we gonna go around, or you want to name your 5? Name
Well,
5?
yeah, let's go around. I threw out Mitch Hedberg as number 1. Let's go
Austin,
this way.
he's back.
Okay.
with
Well,
you?
of course I'm gonna the one I feel most safe with would be George Carlin.
Powerful.
Of course.
Good one.
Yeah.
Powerful.
You know what? It's like I might regret. I don't know if we're doing a to 5 to 1, like to where.
No, let's just throw
George-
them out. Let's just throw them
Okay.
out. We don't have to
Okay,
rank
cool.
them.
Sam Kinison.
For 2 years, probably
The
one of
bomb.
the best comedians.
Yeah.
Didn't last long.
Only because his life didn't last.
Selling out
Yeah.
arenas. Yeah. He's like the Marilyn Monroe.
Eddie Murphy.
And
Eddie-
very,
oh.
very good. And
Fucking
how
crap
many
on
other
comedy.
comedians, talking to Sam Kinison, how many other comedians have you heard say, like what you were talking about, that his timing,
All right.
that his overall comedic genius was just
I'm
that,
next.
You know,
He definitely. Go ahead.
Richard Pryor.
very good. Very good.
Sam Kinison definitely took it to another level with like being a physical presence on stage. Like he would get on the ground and do like, oh, now I'm in hell, now I'm getting fucked, right? It was
Yeah.
like that kind of thing hadn't done before. It hadn't been done before him.
Very original. I think one person that really look up to him, and since he go around, I think we're over 5 now because I think I'll be going on 6. But Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield didn't start doing stand-up comedy, I think, until he was over 50. I believe
Yes,
that's correct.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, like he was
Over 50.
a siding salesman or something.
On the Ed Sullivan Show or Johnny Carson, one of those where he started.
Something.
Well, I knew he got no respect. I tell you,
Right.
I get no respect.
But okay, so that's yours. And you're on number 6. So we don't. It doesn't.
Yeah,
have
we can go to 15 because we'd each be
Yeah.
doing 5.
Talking about selling out arenas, Andrew Dice Clay.
ADC.
Right.
Like he's the one that got away with something that most comedians don't get away with is telling the same jokes over and over again.
Right.
People would demand like the nursery rhymes. Come on.
Right,
Hickory dickory dock. Oh.
And let's be honest though,
Yeah. It's
it
like
was a
Buffett
good
playing
thing, though,
Margaritaville.
right?
What's
it was
that?
a good thing that they liked his stick over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's unique, isn't it?
But it, I mean, it
You wanna punch
really
me?
suited well for him, and at that time because it would be now like a one-hit wonder, and
Right.
he rode that to movies, to
Right. Ford
Yeah.
Fairlane.
yeah.
All right, Austin, you're
It's-
up.
I was gonna say it's like going to see Jimmy Buffett and like getting mad if he doesn't play Margaritaville. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
I just want to hear the same shit. Over and
No
over
other
again.
comedians have
Right.
people yell out.
Nursery
do bits,
rhymes!
Do bits.
Yeah.
Do bits. Like they're like,
Yeah.
oh no, fuck that. That's old shit. Do the
Maybe-
new shit.
Maybe Mitch Hedberg.
Well, he,
But,
did, he
dude-
didn't live long enough.
Dude, I'm going to throw a curveball and say Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
Very smart comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't keep writing. Did the same shit for way too long.
But we
I
loved it.
think it was called Cocaine.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know, but remember him on Reservoir Dogs? He was the radio J.
Oh
the
yeah.
Bohemian.
All right.
KBILLY.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stay the way I'm doing and go Don Rickles.
Mmm.
Don Rickles.
Powerful. Powerful Don Rickles.
Dude, I can't believe you went with
Um,
Don Rickles. I feel like that's almost like the Dr. Dre move.
In the same, almost the same mold as Don Rickles, I think a better writing comedian, Dom Irrera.
Dom Irrera.
Dom Irrera. You're up.
Dude, you know what? I'm gonna go with Chris Rock.
Powerful Chris Rock,
Powerful
yeah.
Chris Rock. Powerful Chris Rock. Yeah. I feel that was a power move on my point.
I saw
Yeah.
Chris Rock at the Bone Student Center
With your nephew
Joe.
Joe. With your nephew Joe, yeah.
I think that was the Bigger and Blacker tour.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking great.
Oh, heavy, overweight black women don't give a
Pump
shit.
fat.
Yeah,
You got the
look like
pump fat.
somebody's baking bread in her shoe.
Yeah, that's good shit.
A pinky toe.
There it is.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Shoot it out, quick.
There it is, quick.
All right, so we're back around, and I'm gonna have to think about this one just for a second.
Okay. We got time. We got
Let me
4
think
minutes.
here. Now it's getting down to the nitty gritty. Well, since we talked about him, and I guess he stand up was pretty good. We'll have to say Robin Williams.
Right.
Yeah. Did start out as a stand-up. How about
Very hairy
I
man.
would say one of the greatest natural comedians where it's like he could just riff, you know what I'm saying? Like he
yes,
would
yes,
like a-
definitely like improv wise. And so
he's the kid you wanted in your class in 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking he would have made school so fucking
This is your 5, MJ. Lay it down.
You know what I'm saying? He could have made school so fucking fun.
oh,
Remember?
again, so we're kind of on the theme of people that you don't necessarily think of stand-up comedians because they did other things. Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno was a
I was gonna say Matt
dynamic
Moffat.
stand-up comedian before he started doing guest hosting for Johnny Carson, right?
Before he started sucking off who?
Buying every car.
Yeah, by the way, Jay Leno's Garage is probably the greatest thing he's ever done, right?
Yeah. You know what? I like Jay Leno, but
You can tell that's his passion, though. Like, he didn't give a shit about talking to people on
No.
the Tonight Show.
No.
But he did it.
Made a
and
lot
he
of
did
money.
it well.
he likes cars though. Yeah, he
Yeah,
does like
he
cars.
definitely
Loves
likes
cars.
cars.
He likes sucking off people.
As a matter of fact, I just seen him on one of Leno's Garage, and he had
Elon Musk.
on there.
Oh,
with the
dude, I
truck.
sent that to you. Dude, have you seen that where he does Elon Musk in the fucking Cybertruck?
And they go in the
Oh, it's
tunnel
fucking good.
underneath Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's like Elon Musk. I don't know if it's real, but he's like, we can see if we can fit down there. He's like, I can definitely get us access to down there, and like,
All right, so that was my 5th one. You two got one more to go.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a curveball to you, Ellen DeGeneres.
There you go.
One of my favorite comedians of all time, without a
And
doubt.
again, with like somebody that was a great stand-up that you don't necessarily think of for stand-up anymore, right?
Right. But you know what? If you can find her, Ellen DeGeneres' stand up from like what, circa like what, 1990? Some of the best stand up comedy I've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going there. You're going a woman.
I'm going with, yeah.
Three
a
black
funny
guys.
woman.
Three
Ju-
black guys, a woman.
A woman can be president of a book club. I still see that comment there, Steve. That's a stain on your career. Good campaigning. You're never going to be president
That was
of this
That
organization.
was a joke, boy. That was a joke, son. That was
Oh.
a joke. But I'm gonna one up you as far as women comedians. Rosanna Dana Dan.
Rosanna Dan? Which-
Rosanna Dana?
So that was Gene Wilder's wife, of course, right?
Gilda Radner.
Gilda Radner, yeah. Yeah, that well
I
played.
mean,
if we were playing chess, I would say that was a good move.
if you're, well, forget about comedians. If you're ranking Saturday Night Live cast members,
Oh.
you've got to put her up there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Of top women.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
do you
Right
think
now.
would she be top 3? I think so.
Well,
Yeah,
Kate
of all
McKinnon
time.
right now, to me, is
Yeah.
at the top.
And the
Like,
girl
she's
from
the
Third
best
Rock.
ever.
What's the girl from Third Rock? She produced it?
Which one? Third Rock? Third Rock from the Sun?
No. I'm saying 30 Rock.
30 Rock. That is girl with a scar on her face.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I don't know. she's
She
the
did,
best. She's
Sarah
fucking
Palin.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, she's fucking good, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck
Dude,
is her
there's
name?
some
Mindy
good-
would know. Mindy would throw that out there right
There's
now.
some bit that she does.
Did you get your last comedian in?
Yep.
Who was it?
Gilda Radner.
Gilda Radner. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, that was a fucking beast move.
Next week we should do SNL cast members.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Kind of a shit show today. Austin started drinking early.
But we love him
Talked
anyhow.
over everybody. But what are you gonna do?